What's up, Sooner fans? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Don't forget to click subscribe. We appreciate everyone that's subscribing lately to this channel. You guys have been great with the likes, the comments, the interaction. See on the bottom of the screen as well. Be part of Sooner Surge Unlimited Discord server where you can communicate 24/7 with the Sooner Surge community. It's $4.99 a month. Make sure you're hopping on that. We appreciate it. We're here today to talk about give an offensive overview and break down the offensive performance against SMU as they head to University of Tulsa this week. And let's get started, guys. Let's get started at the top where kind of the helm with DG in the quarterback position.
Yeah, there's a lot. In my opinion, there's a good amount to talk about with the quarterback position. Starting with DG, it wasn't, in my opinion, was not a bad performance from him. I think it was like 19 of 27, 176 yards and 4 touchdowns, something like that. I thought he played fairly well. My problem with him against SMU was he didn't take any deep shots. That's something to me. You got to take a little bit more risks. The no deep shot thing was concerning, but other than that, I'd say the perfect way to describe the way he played last weekend was just a game manager. He did nothing great, did nothing at the same time very bad. He did take care of the ball. He has so far, so that's good.
He has taken care of the ball. I don't think you can blame the deep shots on Gabriel per se. I think a lot of it was also play calling. There was a few times they tried to go deep. If you rewatch the game, and they had pressure up the middle. And when DG, this is one thing about DG that I would say he needs to be better at is when he gets pressure either up the middle or whatever. He's not like if you go back and watch Baker. I mean, and he's not. I mean, let's just be honest. He's not as good as those quarterbacks, but those guys would be very good about eluding a guy and staying in the pocket or just stepping outside the pocket and making a throw. Usually when he gets pressure, he's either throwing it away or running. I would say maybe the pocket presence could be better with DG. And then I think sometimes he likes to key on one guy. I think Andrew Anthony threw to a lot. And I'm not an offensive coordinator. I don't know if that was his first read and he was open, so I can't answer to that. But overall, through 2 games, DG's been good. He was great in the first game. This game, he was just good.
Yeah, the things Dylan Gabriel did well was he was able to scramble and pick up some yards and showed a little bit of athleticism on a couple of scrambles. But I really think that Dylan Gabriel's got to be more than a game manager at the University of Oklahoma. If he's going to be a game manager, this is going to be a long season because I can count on my hand how many good throws. Actually, I can count on one finger. It's one really great throw where he just made a great throw because most of the time those throws were not that difficult that he was making. And like you said, I don't know that I can ever think of outside of a few times in the last year and a half in the games that he's played at the University of Oklahoma where he scrambled and extended the play to throw the ball. That is something he definitely has to improve on. But overall, this game was mid, I think, for Dylan Gabriel. His numbers are going to look good, but definitely never took shots. And whether or not that's Levy or Gabriel, I don't know. But I know there are some guys running down the field a few times that he might not have seen.
Yeah, and let's transition to the next group, running backs, guys. We talked about this a little bit after, but me especially, I'm wondering where Barnes and Sawchuk are. Okay, and I think Levy at his press conference today said something about we got to get 2 and 27 going, and I think you're going to see a lot more of him this week. He said Sawchuk is healthy, so if Sawchuk is healthy, he needs to be playing. Barnes and Sawchuk to me are your 2 highest ceiling guys in that room.
Yeah, Tawee Walker's been great so far.
He's been great.
He's no denying that. But let's face
him. He's
good.
Let's face
the facts. Tawee Walker is not a bell cow running back. And I'm not saying Oklahoma needs to have a bell cow running back. Tawee Walker is also not a home run hitter or a big play guy. His 30-yard run was a good 30-yard run, but that's not something you can count on. Gavin Sawchuk, in my opinion, you got to get him going. Javante Barnes, got to get it figured out. And then to be able to have Tawee Walker as a change of pace or just him in general as maybe a running back 2 or maybe a
major
back 1B and major as well. And I'll get to major. I think that's good having Walker there. I mean, he's been great so far, Tawee Walker. With major, I was not impressed with him in the first half. The fourth quarter, he looked good. I think the reason I was not impressed with him is because they were using him in the wrong ways. They were having him run it up the middle, and there wasn't much space. Once they got him the ball on the outside, on the perimeter, he made plays.
Well, part of the first half in general, the first few drives, the offensive line, we'll talk about it. It was not very good. They did the 10-play, 75-yard drive. Basically, Jeff Lebby said, we're going to go fast and we're going to go pounding you, and the O-line's going to destroy you. And they did on that drive, but there's too many times. I don't mind Major going up the middle on the counter, but he got tripped up a couple times. There just wasn't much there. But regardless, yeah, 2 and 27. If those are the guys, I mean, he was point blank asked if Ty Walker's the best running back in that room, and his answer was he produced the most on Saturday. Okay, that tells you what you need to know. He doesn't think that Walker is the best guy. Obviously, 2 and 27 probably are the guys that need to be getting more run, but they're not right now. We'll see what happens this Saturday at Tulsa. But Walker and Major performed at high levels at times during this game, regardless of what anyone wants to say. They made highlight type plays, especially on that flare screen and then Walker's long run. But the O-line guys, let's go to the O-line, transition a little bit quickly to the O-line. I thought Andrew Raym might have tested out at probably being one of the best on Saturday, in my opinion. If you go back and look at film, Bird did look a little better when he came back in, but he got ripped out pretty quickly. And then I thought Everett did some okay things, but I don't know. What was your thoughts on Rouse and Matauer?
Well, I think overall it was not as good as performance as the first week. Obviously, even with they had some penalties, and they just seemed a little bit, And let's just face facts. SMU's defensive front's good. We knew going into the game, talking to Rich Phillips, their play-by-play guy. He talked about the defensive front. They got transfers from OU on there with Roberson. They got transfers from Miami. They're deep. They play a lot of guys, and they were a good test for OU. And I think OU did better in the second half when they really needed to, which I think is a good sign. But I would agree with you with Raym. I think by far through the first two games, Raym's been the best offensive lineman because I think just both games he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, Raym was pretty decent in the last game. He struggled, but had some good moments. I thought Walter Rouse and Tyler Guyton played well. Rouse, he had that holding penalty, and he had some. I think the with the whole line, what I just said with Raym, where had some good moments, had some bad moments. That can be applied to pretty much everyone not named Savion Byrd, because Savion Byrd really didn't have any good moments. He's got to get it figured out because I think he has a ton of potential, but just not the best performance from the offensive line. They really did struggle to get movement, especially in that first quarter. But yeah, offensive line wasn't very good. Need to get it figured out. And I think that's another reason why DG wasn't throwing many deep balls, because he didn't have that much time. But with the receivers, one of the things that, to me, why in the world did Jaden Gibson or Nick Anderson not get any targets? Those are guys that should be getting targets. And even on that same point, why did Jalil Farouk only have 2 targets? You saw what he did when he got that one. I mean, he made the best play of the night. No question.
What about Gavin Freeman?
What about Gavin Freeman? Why did Jaquez Petaway stand on the sideline the whole game?
Never played. Now, if you're going to talk about really questionable things, Petaway never sniffed the field. That one's really questionable. That's a coaching decision. Everything else you're alluding to as far as getting targeted, what you're saying, there's one of two things, guys. Either Lebby is telling Gabriel, throw it to this guy every time, or Gabriel's not making progressions. You know my thoughts on this. I don't think Gabriel's very good at making progressions after the first one. That's my thoughts. That's why I think Arkansas State, maybe he was able to do some things a little bit different. Maybe he had more time. I don't know. But he definitely, we've heard that SMU is dropping some guys. Maybe he didn't want to take risks. Not sure. But Nick Anderson and Gibson are 2 guys that are elite physicality. They've got to get the ball. Petaway's got to get on the field.
Yeah, agree with everything y'all said. Got to find ways.
Needs the ball more.
You got to find ways to get your playmakers the ball in space. Period. End of discussion. If it's Freeman on a reverse, whatever it may be, right? And they did have a couple drops. I think overall the receivers didn't play as well either. Freeman had one. It was a little bit tough catch, but he should have had it probably. Anthony had one right in his hands. He dropped. I think did Stoops drop one right in his gut? I think he did. So overall, I just think it was an okay performance from the receivers. And tight end room's another one we need to talk about. Personally, I don't like it when they go to the 2 tight end set. And here's why. Blake Smith and Austin Stogner are a little bit similar tight ends, okay? And Austin Stogner is a guy that can line up in the slot, go down the field, or runs across the middle or something. That's kind of the type of tight end. He's not a guy to run a little screen pass and try to make missed tackles. He's not that guy. And when you have
what Blake Smith is.
Yeah, but when you have 2 of those guys in, you why not have 4 receivers? I mean, I think you're not using the best of your players at that point.
Blake Smith and Stogner to me are not the same type of tight end.
They're similar. I mean, Blake Smith is not.
He's not going down the field.
I don't know how to word it. He's not fast either, but he's good in the blocking. He's solid, but Stogner did not look good on that like out they ran with them. The one time he got the ball, to me, if they want a tight end who can do that, and I know he was hurt, but that's going to be Cade McIntyre because he actually has the speed.
What's going on with Helms? Is he injured?
He's been injured. Helms is injured. McIntyre's Llewellyn can't put it together or something.
He's been injured too, on and off. So.
Yeah. So that to me, like Stogner didn't look good on that play, but I don't think also that was his strength at all. I think they need to find him down the field, and they just haven't done that yet.
Yeah, drop your questions and comments in the chat here on the offensive performance from the Sooners.
How would you grade it overall?
How would you grade it? Position groups, everything like that. Make sure you're part of what's going on at the Sooner Surge. Just like OU's offense, quick hitting offense. That's what we are here at the Sooner Surge. Quick hit, 10 to 12 minute videos to really talk about, break down certain position groups and whatever's happening in the world of OU sports. Be a part of it. Sooner Surge Unlimited. If you have questions, comments, drop them in the chat. Till next time, guys. Boomer.